Hello, I'm Cody with Low Range Off-Road, and this is another how-to video. Today we're going to show you how to install the seat sliders and our bracketry on the Corbeau seats for the Suzuki Samurai. The first thing you want to begin is put something beneath the seat to help protect it from getting ripped or put stains in the seat while you're installing this. Now this is the bottom of the seat. This is the passenger side, so the handle is on our left side. And our first step is just to remove the bolts on the bottom of the seats. Now the seat comes with these bolts already installed, so you don't have to worry about looking for them. So you just want to install it. Install the bracket. It's got the 4 holes. Just line it up. And that's just to help space the sliders from away from the seats so that way they don't dig into the seats. And then this is something important to note, is this is the seat slider that slides it back and forth as you lift up the handle. And you want to note where the handle goes. The handle is going to sit in between these 2 jaws here and lock on onto this back pivot. Now you want to make sure that this is facing forwards and this flat spot right here is facing towards the seat, so that way you get proper insulation. And at this time you now have to slide it back in order to access the bolt hole. So if you just lift up on this flat spot and then slide her back with your other hand to expose that hole, and then you're now ready to install it on your seat. So then you just set it down, line up the hole, I tend to like to get it just tight, but not too tight at first, so that way it gives you some playing room in order to get the back tight and in place. Okay, so that's now started. I'm now going to lift up on the handle again, slide it all the way forwards to where it exposes the hole for the back of the seat. And then going to reinstall the same screw I just screwed out. Go ahead and install it at this time. And at this time you can install it all the way tight if you wish to. Well, this is the time that you would install it tight. Okay. Now I'm going to slide it back and tighten up the front. And at that point you can just slide it forwards and we're done. We're now going to rotate and basically do the exact same thing on this side. So we remove the screws. I'm going to grab our spacer, line it up with the holes. Once again, you want to note that the little claws, or the opening here, and the one pull is facing towards the front of the seat, and this flat part is facing down towards the seat. You also then want to push up on it. Slide it back, and then set it down and line up your front hole. Once again, just get it started so it allows you some space to move the back end around. You then want to lift up on that handle part again, slide the chair forwards, and then reinstall the back screw. And at this time you can tighten this tight all the way down. Slide it back again. Tighten down the front. Okay, now your sliders are installed to the chair, and the next part is to install the handle that came with the sliders. Something to note, I don't know how well you'll be able to see this on the camera, but it is bent and then bent down, so that way it has a slight curvature to it. I don't know how well you can see that, but we're going to want to stall it so it's bending down towards the chair. So we're now going to start by putting it in on one side so it locks in place in between the two jaws, and there's a hole. There's a hole in this side down here towards the bottom on each side that the little pin will slide into, and that's what holds it also in place. So you want to make sure it's facing down towards the chair. Slide it into place. Now this step right here, doesn't matter if you install this one first or this one first, it's the same. You can then pry it over and then slide it into place. Just kind of want to push it over to make sure it's in. And you are now have the sliders installed to the chair, and you're ready for the low range bracket. So go ahead and push it towards the chair, slide the sliders forwards, all the way forwards, and this is kind of key, is try to get them the same distance because it helps when you install the bracket. Okay, so this is the seat bracket, the low range off-road seat bracket that we have designed and made for the Corbeau seats to work with the Samurai. And as you can see, this is the front with our logo, and then this is where the seat will sit. So we're now going to flip it over. And something to mention while I'm doing this is the steps to install the sliders and the brackets and the handle are the exact same for the passenger and the driver, and mounting the bracket, the seat bracket, is the same as well, except for it's going to look a little different. So we're now going to go ahead and install the bracket. First step is to line up the two front holes. Going to get this applied hardware. Going to go ahead and do this side first. Now it doesn't matter if you put the nut down through this way or the bolt up through this way, it doesn't matter, but we're going to install it down like this. So you want to go ahead and get the nut to slide nicely in there. Get it over to where our hole lines up, and then install the bolt. And you don't want to get it too tight in case you have to move the bracket around to get the other ones in. We're then going to do the exact same on this side. Get our nut, slide it into the slider, then install the bolt. Okay, so the front two are done. So we are now going to want to push the handle down and slide the bracket and the sliders back in order to get access to the back holes. And then you just slide it all the way back. Make sure that both of them come all the way back so that way your back holes line up. We are now going to move and install the backs at this time. So the first thing you want to do is install the nut into the slider, install the bolt, go to the other side, install the nut, Gotta rotate hands. Okay, so on this top pole, we are not quite lined up, so I'm just going to pull the two together just a little bit and then slide the bolt through. Okay, at this point, all 4 bolts are on the bracket, so we can now go ahead and tighten them all down. A shallow socket would work better, but this is working, so we're just going to go with it. Okay. At this point, the bracket and the sliders are now attached to the chair, and it's ready to be installed in the vehicle, but a quick tip to help install it is slide the bracket towards the front of the chair again to help it get through the door and position correctly. Thank you for joining us. This has been another how-to video with Low Range Off-Road. Please join us again next time.